Hey, what's going on, podcast family, man? It's your boy Prince Robinson in the building, yo. We're excited to be here today, man. I have a guest in the building, yo. I have a guest, one of the best in the music industry here, yo. I gotta read out his resume, yo. You know what I'm saying? But my boy Jermaine Collins in the building, yo. You know how
that is it.
Yo, say hello to the people, man.
Hey, what's going on, world? It's your boy Jermaine Collins, nephew, cousin. That is it. Yeah, man.
Right away.
Yes,
sir. Right away, man. Listen, we want to come to you today and want to really talk about that. We're going to have a conversation. This is just like a barbershop talk, tell you the truth.
Okay.
You know, we just sit down and we just have these are normal conversations we normally have and stuff like that. And we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to kind of compare it, relationship now, like in 2025, you know what I mean, the 21st century. Versus a relationship back in our foreparents and our grandparents.
Yes,
maybe our mom, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not saying we are old or anything, you know what I mean? But look at relationship back then now versus now and just see, you know what I mean? Like why, I find relationship right now is very short-lived.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say so
and,
too.
And back then you will see like our grandparents, they would kind of stick it out, so to speak, right? So, you know, so when I'm comparatively speaking, when I look at it, I'm just like, I'm always wondering, I mean, what's the contributing factor to that? And so that's something I want to throw at you. Why you think that's happening? Why you think relationship now is more short-lived than back then? You know what I mean?
For me, I when I look back and see how my parents had to navigate through life. And raising us, and even sometimes see the single parent, like some of my aunts, you know, became single parent and stuff. I think it's because I believe they didn't have so much to work with.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The tools that they had is what they had back in the day. You know what I mean? And I believe it's generation to generation. But looking at today, I think attention span is one of them, and I think because people are too distracted.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And social media got so much involved in people's lives, people's relationship. You know what I mean? And I only can talk based on what I've grown up to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe you may have a different perspective. I may have a different perspective. Some you guys may have a different perspective. If I can say few things, if I see my mom work hard for us.
Okay.
Work hard for us to have better life, better future, and all of these things. And I will see if she go out and buy a pound of chicken, that's a pound of chicken. She can't. That's what's there, and we make it work. Okay. And even if I grew up as a single parent. You know what I mean? Not a single parent. I grew up as in a single parent home.
Single parent home, okay.
You know what I mean? And I watched my mom do life with the minimum she had. You know what I mean? And versus someone who grew up with coming and seeing their parents like this. This is how I see my parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can say today I may say I'm like a fling.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just keep it real.
Keeping it real.
You know what I mean? Because the reason why I say fling, because my mom and my dad weren't together. You know what I mean? And but I've seen people who are together. You know what I mean? And I see how they better for worse become so important in their life.
Yes.
Richer for poor becomes so important in their life. And sickness and health becomes so important in their life. And they said, you know what, they're going to stick it up because the vow meant something.
Meant something back then.
Okay. Today, the vow is just like, it's for show. As a poke me, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, as I say something I didn't like, I'm out. And I believe a lot of those things happen because people grow up with a lot of traumas. And they never take the time to look after it. You know what I mean, when it comes to like therapy and all of these things. And that's why today I believe they say 80% of people, living by themselves. because they don't want to deal with certain things. You know, I don't like his hair, I don't like his this, and I don't like, he's too bossy, or
Yeah.
she's too miserable, whatever it is. You know what I mean? But today, it's very scary in relationship. Very, very scary.
So you're basically saying some of the issues and problems that exist today, some of them still existed back
Still,
then,
yeah.
but our parents or foreparents or aunties, uncles was more patient.
Yeah,
They were more patient.
they're more
That's what
patient,
you're saying.
and it's not that patient is one of them,
Mhm.
and I believe they I don't know, should I say settle?
I don't. The thing about relationship, right? I don't like to use the word settle, because the thing about relationship is that, you know what I mean, when you get into a relationship with, your person, there, for it to work itself, or for there to be a balance, you have to kind of let go of yourself, a lot of yourself and your ego
Yep.
and stuff like that, for things to work. Like, you can't just totally, like, when you were living by yourself, you operate differently.
Yeah.
You understand?
A lot of people struggle with the two becoming one.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because you say you have to let go of a certain thing.
Yourself,
And
yeah.
a lot of people still coming in the relationship, still haven't let go. And because they haven't let go, it's hard to navigate. You know, sometimes you say, you know what, I hear my uncle was changing some of my verbiage when I said, you know what, I would say my wife is going to the doctor. My wife is coming next week. I would say, like, she's coming next week.
Yeah.
So he would say, who's she?
Yeah.
I said, my wife. No, never you call her she.
She. Oh, okay.
My wife is coming next week. My wife is going.
Yes.
So teaching us how to shift
Yeah.
my thinking or
Your
my
mindset,
mindset.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she's not. It's not your girlfriend anymore.
Yeah.
It's your wife. So you have to, is either your style by her name or my wife. You know what I mean?
And even you can even start earlier, because once you notice, we all know when a relationship is at that next level, even though you're not married.
Yeah.
Right? So you start practice certain things.
Yeah.
Like, so even at that time when you guys are you're dating, you're courting, it's getting serious and serious. You stop addressing her by some of those pronouns.
Yes.
And start,
Yes.
you know what I
Very,
mean?
very important.
You know what I mean? Even if you don't want to say my wife yet, you can say hun.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Just kind of change your, like you said, your verbiage.
Yes.
Yes. So to speak, and kind of just start to get accustomed. Because, I mean, I can see, because some people can take those things offensively right off the bat, right? But also you have to give people time to also grow into certain things. And I think what's happening now is, like, in relationships, parties are not giving each party time to grow.
Yeah.
So if we just have a conversation today about something happened, you know what I mean? I may not do the same thing, or she may not do the same thing tomorrow, but maybe next month you might make the same error. But you have to give them time to grow.
Time, yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't just think,
time is important.
it's just like kids. When you tell them something one time, doesn't mean that they get it together right away. You give them time to grow, right?
Yes.
So I think we're in a relationship with, yes, we're not kids in most part, but you still need time to grow. Because if you're accustomed to be by yourself, and hey, I'm just accustomed to get up, shower, out the house. That's what you've been accustomed to for years.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean? It's easy for me to want to just get up and, like, hey, gone, without do much thinking, because that's what I'm accustomed to. So I agree with you, for sure that you know what I mean.
I watch my aunt and my uncle navigate, and they've been together, I think 30-something, 40-something years.
Oh wow, that's a blessing.
And so every time my wife and I, we talk to a lot of people, like older people who are married 20 years, 40 years, 50 years. We just met someone the other day. They're married 50-something years. And so I said, so what kept you guys? You know what I mean? And she said, you know what? These are people that really believe in God and all of these things. The lady said, you know what? She was very submissive too. You know what I mean? And she said, you know what? When I'm wrong, she said, when I'm wrong, and sometimes her anger, you know what I mean, she feel angry about it. And she said, you know what, she feel like she can't move forward with her life or move forward with the things of God unless she go apologize or let you know, she
Kind of
have to
mend
kill
things
herself.
with, yeah.
You know what I mean? She said until she do that, she don't feel the presence of God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that come with time.
Of course.
You know what I mean? That come with patience. You know what I mean? And that come with wisdom. That come with understanding. You know what I mean? Not understanding you, but understanding your dynamic, understanding the person you're with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she said, you know what? It's like a bittersweet. You want to push them over, but you still have to pick them up. You know what I mean? And she said that until she do that, nothing that happened. But when she do it, everything shifted.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And you hear about talks about don't let the sun
Go down on your wrath.
on your wrath.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of times in relationship, a lot of, you know, pride get the best of us. Pride is a killer in relationship. And communication is a killer in relationship. And the big one, finance.
Whoa.
Finance is a big killer in relationship. You know what I mean? And for me, I think with my wife and I, she's became my best friend now. And it's just how we navigate things. You know what I mean? And I said, listen to me. If I have $1 and you need the dollar right now, you get it the dollar.
Yeah.
You understand? But if I need half of it, I'm going to give you half of it. And it don't matter to me. You understand? And we are men, we go get it.
Of course.
If we have to go get it, we go get it.
Yeah.
You understand? And I said, you know, God is not going to give us more than what we can handle or what we can bear. And I believe we're bearing right now. You know what I mean? And to God be the glory. You know what I mean? We're praying for more. You know what I mean? I realized, I told my wife, I'm not praying for money. I'm praying for wisdom.
Oh, that's a powerful one. It's a big one there for sure.
Wisdom. The more wisdom I have, you know what I mean, I will able to navigate things better. You know what I mean? Because when you get all this money that you're asking God for, you don't want more.
Oh yeah, always.
You know what I mean? So it's like David, no, it's not David, Solomon. He prayed for more wisdom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that means we have to go seek, because when you apply wisdom, man, it's God's wisdom is the manifestation. You know what I mean? Things will be done. It has to be done.
So and we're still on finance here. So what would you say to because I'm sure I've been having a conversation the other day, and with this, not the couple itself, one of the persons of the couple, so not the couple itself, right? And he was saying that he find it hard. I'm not throwing anybody business out there, so you know what I mean. But I'm sure when the person look at it, they probably know exactly what it is, and he won't be offended, right? But he was saying he find it's a struggle now. Like before he was making more money than wifey, right? And now, you know what I mean, wifey is in a space where, you know what I mean, for the last couple of years she's been bringing in more coin than him, right? But now there is a tussle in the relationship, just because, you know what I mean, I don't know, she feel the need to kind of emasculate him because, you know, just the mere fact that she's bringing in more. And I've heard in situations where ladies ask, you know what I mean, if I'm making more money than you, why do I need you? And like And so now you make the relationship look like, okay, it was all about the man and his finance. That makes that part. That's how you look at him. It's just like if I'm looking at a lady and I'm just thinking, oh, you're just good for kids and you know what I mean, and maybe clean the house and stuff like that. And your mentality cannot be that way. So my thing to you, what we say to people out there who are watching, who's listening to us, and say, listen, man, even though that you're making more money than your man, you know what I'm saying, that does not mean he cannot be the head of your household, and that doesn't mean things cannot work, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't think money should be, because when the relationship shifts to money, then put a lot of condition on this relationship, you know what I mean? And I don't have all the answers in this space, you know what I mean? But I can just talk from what I've heard or see or happen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There are times I've seen. I'll say. No, there's never. Maybe one time I can say I've seen my partner was making more money than me.
Yeah.
And that came from a space of transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
When I was transitioning from one career to the next.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And she said, you know what, listen to me. This relationship is not about money. I don't care who make what.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're here, if I, as I mentioned earlier, if I have $1, it's yours.
Yes. Yeah.
You understand? And as I said, this is just my experience. This is nobody's experience. You know what I mean? And, you know, people make marriage become materialistic. People make marriage become all these type of things. You know what I mean? And showing off and this and that. We don't have time for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we're going together. And I think it's because of maturity. You know what I mean? She said, you know what? I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hold it down.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you less of a man. You know what I mean? Versus one partner I was with, they told me that I will, you know, it's like they said, leave everything you got and come with me. I'll take care of you.
Yeah.
I will never ever do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How are you gonna take care of a broke person? You know what I mean? And she said, I will take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, no, I need to know I'm pulling my
Your
weight.
weight, yeah.
As a man.
As a man.
You know what I mean? We understood. I know you got this, but some man wouldn't mind the woman do all of that and they be home, you know, looking after whatever.
Yeah, stay at home dad.
Stay at home dad. You know what I mean? But sometimes, you know, people use it as power.
Yes.
And
yes.
try to hit you and talk to you a certain way and all of these things. Look at some men who may have money and the woman come in a relationship with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And how you treat the woman like a piece of
a piece of garbage.
A piece of garbage.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people do that. We come on to change people.
Yes.
Once you start making a little more, it's gonna shift your thinking. You know what I mean? But if you don't make that the primary thing at the foreground, you know what I mean? I think you'll be fine. You know what I mean? But no. And I believe sometimes definitely a woman will, you know, I'm sorry, but I've seen it. I'm not talking about no one specific, but I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen when women, you know, get a little power, how they treat the man.
Yes.
But sometimes the man lose himself.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be a man in the space. Not because the woman making maybe 100,000 more than you.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're still the man in the space.
Yeah.
Don't lose and forget who you are, but don't let money define your relationship. You know what I mean? You guys working together.
But that's the thing about sometimes, because you were saying, you know, men should not let themselves be subject to those type of things, and they kind of lose their manhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, and I agree with that part totally. You should you should know that God make you this way to be that.
Know who you are.
And you should know who you are. But you find a lot of guys lose themselves because I think what I notice in not just in relationship, but in with humans, like once you start talking down to some people, different people handle things differently. You know what I mean? If you keep talking down to some people, they can lose themselves.
Yep.
You understand?
Yep.
There are some people who are very, you know what I mean, have broad shoulders. It doesn't matter what you say. They know who they are and they stand their ground. But there are other people that you keep beating that sheep, keep beating the horse, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They just lose their ego, they lose their manhood, so to speak.
Why? Why and how did they get to that place?
Some people get deteriorated easily by just words. Man. If you keep beating someone with words, like we call it here, this day and age we call it verbal abuse.
Verbal abuse.
You understand?
Yeah.
And people react differently to verbal abuse.
Yeah. So now, if you peel off that now, it takes you back to foundation of their starting place. That maybe is what they see going up, and they hold on to that.
Oh yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? They will see daddy talking to mommy and mommy talking to daddy a certain way. You know what I mean? Oh, this is how a woman should be talking to a man, or this is how a man should be talking to a
That's
woman.
the interpretation, yes.
You know what I mean? Because I've seen that. I throw out one thing here. I remember one of my previous. This is a long time ago, more than 15 years ago. Relationship when my partner, she grew up, saw her mother with a car and a house. That's what in her head make a man. A car and a house. And she saw me with a business, but not with a house and a car. And she thought that that's not what's the word I'm looking for. She said that don't make me a man. And she would talk down or try to talk down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have to say, because so I said a 16-year-old can have a house and a car, and they're a man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But me as a older person, only have a business. Low many business people who have like $1 billion business and don't even have a car. You know what I mean? Look at Warren Buffett. No have a car. You understand what I'm saying? And so I guess he's not a man.
You see, and that come back to what you were saying. Some people, how you were brought up can have such a great impact on your life that it take you right into adulthood and affect you the way you react to certain things, the way you internalize, the way you think, everything.
And the funny thing, if I'd hold on to those things that she
teaching
and what the partner was saying to me and telling me you're not this, bro, that would have killed me.
That would have killed. Yes.
But it's because I have to keep reminding myself I know who I am.
And who's your. That's right.
I'm like, isn't it responsibility?
Wow.
Make people an adult. Being responsible.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I look at business I've been in for many years, and that don't make you a man. So I'm like, in my head, to be honest, I was saying some word about stupidness about. I'm like, where you get these teachings from?
Yeah.
And then like, man is this, man is that, man is a piece of this, man is a piece of that. You know what I mean? And one time she asked me, we sat down in a conversation, my son, and we had to let the person know how much we make.
Yes.
Based on how much we're supposed to give for to put in a thing for his education.
Yes.
And because I said, I make this, she would turn and I said, no, that's not what you make.
Oh wow.
I'm like, that's not what I make. I'm telling you what I make.
Yes.
Because I make more than her. Because man is supposed to be lower. You know what I mean? Because of what they were taught.
Yeah.
And if I'd follow all of those things and listen and keep poking, that would have killed me today. It would have made me less of a man. It would have made me in this box and don't know who I am. But, know who you are, man. As a man, know who you are. You understand what I'm saying? Do not, because sometimes we men, when certain things hit us, we just go into this box and this shell and crumble.
And that could be, ladies and gentlemen, we're still here. This is Jermaine Cowan in the building. We're still having conversation. But it can also, sometimes as men, we don't have that. That's why I think it's very important for men to have male friends that you can be accountable to. Yeah. Because sometimes you don't have that space where you can just be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You understand? So you'll find, you and I will have certain conversation that you probably not have with your sister, you probably not have with your girlfriend or something like that. And it's not like, well, in your case, wife.
Right. Yes, wife.
Well, you guys are best friends now, so you guys have all kind of conversation. But still, if there's a way that men open up when they are together, right? It's totally different from when they're sitting with their wife or girlfriend.
Totally.
You understand?
Yeah.
We sit down and the conversation that we have over a meal, over a drink, and you understand? It's needed.
Yeah.
You need that space to kind of express yourself.
Yeah.
Because especially if you're not given that type of space at home, you cannot have that conversation at home. You need that. I remember, we used to have that chat that's called accountability. Crew. But accountability is so important. Just someone you can accountability means like I can go and open up
Exactly.
in this
Yeah.
area with my friend,
Totally.
and he or she is not just a yes man. Not everything I say goes,
Fair
but
enough. Fair enough.
they can tell you if they can point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And they're not just there to tell you, yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? If they find that you're disrespectful to your woman, they would that accountable partner will tell you, yes,
Totally.
hey, you're being disrespected.
You know.
You know what I mean?
I have a bunch of these conversations, and I have a few people that I just talk directly. I said, listen to me. If I can't cuss you, if I can speak truth to you, then we can have a conversation.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? And
Accountability,
especially with relationship, and especially with men. And I was telling my wife this year, since January to today, I think I've learned so much. I've gathered so much data in the space of finding love or in love, or learning about my partner, stuff like that, and then take accountability for my actions and everything. You know what I mean? And we sat down. I met this guy was talking, and he was saying some things to me, and I said the girl did this, the girl did that. So I said, okay, let's get off the girl. Tell me what you did. You know?
Yeah.
He's telling me he didn't do this, he didn't do that. I said, no. You're the man in the relationship.
Yes.
You're the one that God put over her.
Yeah.
Is God, then you. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
Tell me, what did you do? And he's saying this and that. I said, no, let me tell you what you did. You know what I mean? And I said, correct me if I'm wrong, am I right?
Yeah, correct.
And everything that I was saying, he said, bro, no one talked to me like this. I said, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm not going to be a yes man.
And that's the thing about friendship, right? I know we're talking about relationship, but friendship also is important in this. You understand? There's the thing about having friends. A good friend is not someone who always say yes.
Yeah.
When you want them to say yes, or they always say no when you want them to say no. You understand? A good friend would always tell you, listen, man, bro, I hear what you're saying, but man, let's look at it from this angle. You know what I mean? Based on what you're saying, bro. Like, I mean, let's put yourself in her shoes.
Yeah.
And this is how she's viewing
Yes.
it. You understand? If your friends cannot show you these things, then that person is not a friend to you.
No, I'm leaving.
That's not a true friend.
Yeah.
You understand? You need true friends in your corner that you can actually, you know what I mean, bond with, and you can have conversation, you can confide in.
Yeah.
That's another thing about, we talk about relationship, but all these things are so important. A friendship friendships within relationship, who you are accountable to, who you're having conversations with, all these things can affect your personal relationship with you and your partner.
Because they want to know who. Because sometimes you come and you come and say, babe, can I say something? Can I say something? I'm like, you never talk like that. Where you get this? Where you get this from?
Yeah.
So who you've been talking to?
Who you've been talking to? Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a lot to do with how you navigate to your relationship. You know what I mean? These days and age, for me, because I get married, I don't talk to a lot of single men too much.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing to tell me. They have something to tell me, but I pick sense out of nonsense and all that.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I look for people that really gonna edify me, educate me, and take me to the next level.
Yes.
In my relationship.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because every day I want to go to bed sleeping good.
Oh yeah.
Get up. You know what I mean? I can walk down the street. I say, babe, we're walking on the street, and we can walk on any street. I don't want to say, babe, no, we're not going on that street.
Yeah.
We're going on that street.
On that street.
You know what I mean?
For
because she's gonna say why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, I want to be able to walk on any street, feel clear. You know what I mean? I can post anything I want to post anything with my woman, and I just feel free. You know what I mean? And get wise counsel from people. If it works in my relationship, I bring it in.
Yes.
I will say, babe, what do you think about this? You think we should apply this to our daily living? To or the course of our life? Let's see what this can do.
Yeah.
Even now, when we talk to the 50-year-old person, 50, they're married for 50-something years. Then I have another friend that celebrate 20-something years,
Yeah.
20 years relationship. Another, one of her bestie just celebrate, I think, more than maybe a decade or 2 decades. And I'm like, I was saying, people that we have met for so many years, that married for so many years, 20, 50, 2 decades and stuff like that. We sat with them and we just talked. They would just tell us some things, and I'm like, babe, I think we should implement some of these things in our relationship. You know what I mean? And if it works, it works. You know what I mean? But we're still living our lives. You understand? Because we have to write our own story as well.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Because, I said, sometimes we're going to live carelessly through your guys' eyes. Because I love what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
You understand? And then, I always tell my wife, when it comes to better for worse in a relationship, you know what I mean? I said, babe, we were standing right by the ship, having dialogue before we start taking sail.
Yeah. Because
once we get on that boat and start taking sail, whatever comes, you know what I mean? I said to her, you know what? If the captain is down, the co-captain have to rise up.
That's it.
In Jesus' name.
That's it.
Have to rise up.
That's it.
Pull me up. You understand what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to be on one side of the boat and you're on the other side. And it's sinking.
Yeah.
Because of pride. You know what I mean? So it's either we come together, because sometimes coming together is one of the most difficult things.
Being on the same page.
Because you have to let self go. You say you love me, but you're careless with money. Then they give you my money, you're going to take care of it. Or you're going to multiply this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know a story with the king and the servants. And give them things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whatever the giving looks like to you, it could be business, it could be relationship. You want to see how you manage these things.
That's right.
And multiply these things. You understand? So whatever your interpretation is, you know what I mean? If you think it's money, instead of bury it there, one will be blessed with the 5 talents and the one will be blessed the 10. And
that's exactly the Bible exhort,
you know what I mean?
that you reminded me of, because the master, he blessed some with 5, some with 3, some with 2, some with 1.
With 1,
right? But each of them have more talents than some. But the thing is, they all have talent.
Yes.
And what are you gonna
do with it?
I mean, how are you gonna manage it? How are you gonna invest it? You know what I mean? And that's what.
And you know what the other thing is? It said, in all of that, it said, love God enough with all of your heart, but love your neighbor, and you have to help. You have to deal with people's blessing. So if you have 5, I may have 1, but can't envy you. You understand?
Right.
If your relationship I work good and mine I tear down, but still can't envy you. May I forgot look and I say, you know what keeping them?
Yes.
Let me take pride out and say, you know what, may I be transparent with you. We're struggling after our marriage. You know what I mean? I need to learn from you.
That's right. And that's where, like you were saying, you were talking to people, one of them is 50.
Yeah.
50 years in, some was 20 something. There was one was 10. But even the 10 might look a little bit in comparison to the person who is at 50, but there are milestones you still have to get to.
You want to hear something crazy? But the one, when God do and go bury it, that's the one that left the relationship. Because you know what? Because I believe the Bible says God, He wants us to be blessed in every area of our life. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, in our health.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You may be strong in your health and your spirit life, but we may be strong in finance and relationship.
Yeah.
So we balance each other. So whereas my weakness is supposed to be your strength.
Yeah.
But the one with the one enough, he got buried and run away from the relationship.
And that's why I was wondering, if we go back to the beginning, that in comparison to now versus our grandparents and stuff like that, why relationship You know what I mean? Why the relationship now is so short-lived versus then? They were going through some of the same struggles that
Exactly.
we're going through now.
Yeah.
I mean, we are more exposed to, like you were saying, social media and stuff like that. Our grandmother didn't have to deal with Instagram
No.
and TikTok
No.
and Facebook.
But I believe their struggle was in a different form.
Yeah, there was still struggles.
Yeah.
They were not struggle-free.
No,
You know what I'm
you know what I
saying?
mean?
They were not struggle-free.
So a lot of them with the one today is running up and down wild.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? I don't want to take the time to water that
Yes.
one. But the one with the 5, water that are multiplied.
Yes.
The one with the 10, water that
That's
are
it.
multiplied.
That's it.
But you with the one are run carelessly and I spend too much money with all over the place with different women. You know what I mean? And what happened? Your relationship won't die.
Dying, yeah. Invest that same amount
Yeah.
of time
Go invest
that
the
you have out
time.
there within
Water
your
that.
household, yeah.
It's just give me an illustration and bring up the king with the 5.
Yeah, yeah.
And it does bring me in the relationship space with it.
Correct.
Imagine if you and I working together, the amount, because it takes 2 hands to clap.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
One hand can't clap alone.
But see that.
Never
Do you
see.
hear anything? You hear no clapping, right?
You understand? But the 2 and them come
That's right.
together and I clap in unison. Richard, you know what that. You know much joy in that. You know much peace in that. I'm not saying there's not struggle in the good times. It's like Joseph, he planned for the famine. And the harvest, him still pray through the harvest.
Yes.
And that this is where, sometimes if we overcome one thing, we have to find something to put in the midst of that, because you know what's going to happen? Because, sometimes when God move you from a different chapter or bless you with something or whatever, now there's a gap.
Yeah.
I need to fill that gap. And it's what you fill the gap with. And make sure whatever, if it's to go mentor somebody in that space. Because him take you from something. Because anytime God move you from something, you know what I mean? Now it's like you become the university if you go teach somebody. You know what? Because somebody coming into that.
Correct.
Yeah, man. But the one with the one, don't bury it. You know what I mean? Because that one is so valuable. The one is so valuable.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, stop looking at other people, what am I doing? Look on your one, what I give. You know what I mean? And when you start water that one and pay attention to the one and peel it, you know what I mean? And, you peel all the layers.
Yes.
You'll be surprised.
Water your garden, man.
You know what I mean? You'll be surprised, man. And I tell you, a lot of marriages are going through hell today. You understand? You are going through so much. Trust me, people are running away just because, you know what, his mother don't like me. Or fear mother don't like me. You know what, he might work late. Before me, I work late. Or she get too lazy at the house. You don't think when you run and go somewhere else, it's another devil you attack. But it may not be the same devil, It may be something else. It could be that person that know nothing about God. You know what I mean? But you worry about the little. So you over there, one side on a ship and a little water came in. And you worry about the little water. When if the two of them come together and take up the water.
I was watching one of my friends post on social media, and the wife was asking the husband, if you have to do it all over again, would you put up with my bad behavior? Would you
Powerful.
Yeah, I mean, and his response was like, well, I put up with it for 9 years. At least I know your behavior by now. I might go say I want to jump ship, and you never know. Might go meet the devil next. Might jump on.
Exactly.
I think we have a terminology they use. I think they use it in the same thing. So you jump out the frying pan and jump straight in the fire.
Right in the fire.
You know what I mean? So.
But if you can work with it, work with it.
Work with it. Take time to know your person. Yeah, for sure.
Once you're connected to the vine, man, and hang on, you know where the branch is. You know what I mean? God made us men, I believe, at the head. And a lot of men back then, you know what I mean, they use what they have to make it work. And it kept it simple. Simple, Virginia. If you make $20,000 a year, they made that work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes, we're praying for God to multiply the pot. But I believe that we shouldn't pray for more money, just pray for wisdom.
Pray for wisdom. And know that, and see, there's another thing that kind of confuses me too. Because if we are working together as a couple, yeah, a man and a woman is working together as a couple, right? How did that, even though one is making more than one, isn't that still the couple's money? Is like, it's not us money. It's like, why, when I see couples working separate, when coming to finance, they're working separate, it's like reminds me of scam, where one person have an exit plan just in case something happen, you know what I mean? Like, I'm saving all my money, I'm only spending his money, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just in case something happens. So right there, you're not working together.
No, it's condition.
It's conditional, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and that's what I'm saying, it's like a scam.
Yeah, and you hear people come with prenups in relationships.
That's another thing,
You know, so, and, but I believe, you know, I believe in joint account, and I believe separate accounts. But make sure every week something is going to that joint account.
Joint account.
Has to, if it's 10% of your earning, go into that joint account. If you go to church and you pay tithes, make sure 10% is either you want to take it from the joint or take it from personal. The joint account is supposed to be like for bills.
Yeah.
Bills covering the heavy lifting in the house. You know what I mean? And you make sure just be transparent about it.
We're living in a day and age now where you're gonna always see a lot of prenups and stuff like that going on. You're gonna always see a lot of that because if divorce in itself is it's in such of a high, such a high rate right now that people is like, if someone is coming in with someone is coming in a relationship with a certain amount of finance, because prenups is really about finance and assets.
Yes,
right?
no,
You understand?
Yeah.
So if they're coming in with a certain amount, they try to make sure that, hey, just in case anything happens, I'm leaving with what I brought in.
Yeah.
You understand? Because you find out people, believe it or not, people are getting married to people knowing that, hey, this person have something, and even though I'm coming in with nothing, when I'm leaving, I'm still leaving with.
Yeah.
Because I'm, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
because the person, if you notice, is most of the time is unless you find you have parties, which is very small percentage, where both parties is coming in with a high volume of finance. Away from that is really one party in a relationship is really care about prenups.
Yeah.
Is a person who have their assets and have their ish together.
Yeah.
They care about prenups and stuff like that, right? So that's another thing that
I believe you should know why you're gonna get with the person who don't have anything. You know what I mean? You're going. You know, what was your intention in getting involved with that person who didn't have anything? You know, what's your intention?
But I see this is another thing again, because I would not say the person doesn't have anything. The person may not come in with a financial backing like this other person have. That doesn't mean the person is still another asset to you.
Oh, of course. You see,
because a lot of times people argue these foolishness about what you're bringing to the table, and a lot of times when they talk about what you're bringing to the table, they're really talking about finance and assets.
Money. Yeah,
you understand?
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, you're saying the person who does not have a financial backing to their name doesn't have anything to bring to a table, whatever table you're talking about at that point. So those things can be, all those things are things that affect relationships.
Exactly.
You understand?
But what do you do? What do you do in those situations? You know what I mean? I believe that's where the conversation, you have to talk about this thing before it reaches to a place that people have anxiety and people just break down, you know what I mean? You know, some people have some crazy spending habit.
Yeah.
You know, that's another trail, a lot of spending habit, and that can really tear down marriages.
Once you start dating and stuff again, like you get past that sweet, not past the sweet stage, but you already talk about birds and bees and stuff again. You want the relationship to get serious and stuff like that. There's certain things you have to be talking about, man. Like, don't wait until certain things come up and then all of a sudden you're just like, you know what I mean, like it's caught you off guard.
You know what I'm saying? There you go.
Like, talk about certain things, you know what I mean? Like, you wanna know, okay, you know what I mean, what a person is like when they get a certain way, when are they angry, when all those things, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You have to kind of investigate your person, so
Yeah.
to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very important that you do that. You know?
And for me, I always I'm learning my partner every day. You know what I mean? I'm learning her every day, and I always know what trigger her, and she would know what trigger me or get me annoyed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we talk about this thing. I say, you know what? If we're not gonna sit here and get angry all the time, and
Yeah.
like pride and all this, just kick up. We'll walk away,
Yes.
and come back.
Mm-hmm.
Come back with solution.
Correct.
Don't come back and tell me you wanna get out. I said, you know what? If you're gonna sleep on the couch, I'm coming out there with you. That's what she told me, and
Yeah.
I said, I don't blame you.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this together. You know what I mean? And just talk about things.
Mhm.
Talk about
Yeah.
because you have to talk to the point that get you uncomfortable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I believe that's where growth comes in.
Mhm.
In the uncomfortable zone, in those, it's like in the storm when you're drowning.
Yeah.
Look when you're walking out of when you're from the shallow water, you're nice until you get out to the deep. You just get uncomfortable. That's the place where conversation should start.
Yes, because it builds character. Right?
Yes.
It's very
It has to
important.
challenge you so much
Mhm.
to the point it make you go, because a lot of us do not like confrontation, are not confrontational.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because, as again, it go back to starting place of how we were brought up and what
Yes,
we
sir.
saw.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? But I believe mom and dad used to fight things out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I believe that there was not. It was not a TV relationship where everything just looks smooth and
Yeah.
nice and
You know what I mean?
No.
And I just believe in that, man. And the more, because you're watering your tree. You're watering your tree. When you keep watering that tree, it has to bear fruit.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
And the fruit gonna trickle over to anybody that is going through what you're going through.
Mm-hmm. You gotta always put in the work, man. I always equate relationship to, like, I'm an athlete, right? I'm like sports, soccer. We talk basketball
You're an
all the
athlete?
time. You know what I mean?
You're an
I'm not an
athlete?
athlete. I was.
Yeah, he's an athlete, you know what I mean? We was.
We was. No, but I equate it to, like, you know what I mean, if soccer, basketball, like, you know what I mean, yes, now you see the finished product where,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, I'm giving you 30 points a night, I'm giving you 10 assists, you know what I mean, I'm giving you 10 rebounds. You see that, but what about behind the scenes? What about all the work that I put in to become that?
Amen.
I didn't just become that, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
that overnight, you know what I mean, there
Yeah.
was a process. So any athlete would tell you, listen, what do you see now and you're enjoying?
Yeah.
And what you see I'm doing now, it wasn't always like that, man. There was a time when I couldn't shoot a basketball.
Yeah.
There was a time I couldn't kick a ball properly. I couldn't even score a penalty.
Amen.
But now you see, you know what I mean, I'm eating up defense and I'm doing all
Exactly.
kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Now, you know, you don't know what I went through to build character.
Time.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
With timing.
it takes a lot of hard work and
Yeah.
the process of time, then you become,
Become, yes.
you know what I mean?
Not be like, you
Mhm.
become.
You become.
That's a great
That's it, you know what I
one
mean?
right there.
So-
Become. Yeah. Because that's what I believe God wants us to become. You know what I mean? And create one thing, and out of that one thing, or you could imagine what it could be like.
That's right. That's
You know what I
right.
mean? And relationship take work and it takes time. You know what I mean? Sometimes, I was saying somebody that, oh, I got married and this and that and that and that, but you were in something for so long and
Mhm.
you didn't get married. You know what I mean? And sometimes you can be with somebody for so many years,
Mm-hmm.
and then meet somebody tomorrow and get married.
Oh yeah,
It's connection.
it happens.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot to do with connection. You know what I mean? And it's just a beautiful thing. Look at some of those people who, as we wrap up, some of those people who have arranged marriage.
Mm-hmm.
They have to love in that storm, and they cannot leave.
Yeah, and that's what it tells me that it doesn't even matter how you meet, things can work.
Yeah.
Because in our culture, obviously we going out on dates, all that
Exactly.
stuff, and you know what I mean, and still it doesn't even work sometimes. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But in the Indian culture and stuff like that, you know what I mean, it's
Yeah.
arranged. Everything is
Arranged.
being arranged. You know what I mean.
And they have to make it work.
Make it work.
And it worked. Sometimes it's not about the 5 or the 10. The one that you have, keep watering that one. And it has to work.
Yes. Sir.
In Jesus' name.
Amen. You know, I mean, listen, guys. I told you guys we're gonna have like a barbershop talk here, man. It's just like, you know, what I mean,
Part 2 coming.
Okay, that's right. You know what I mean? We're gonna forever throw these conversations out at you, man. These are like a normal conversations that
Yeah.
we normally have. This is not. We don't even feel like we're talking to you right now,
Yeah,
even though we're
exactly.
talking to you. These are like normal conversation we have all the
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? This is like our little barbershop talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're always talking about different topics. It could be relationship today. Tomorrow it could be sports. The next day it could be politics.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
definitely. You know.
One day you're laughing, another day you're crying. It's just
Mhm.
like it's just all a part of life. You know what I mean?
And next time we just, if there's a part 2, we just dissect the marriage vow. What does it mean?
And that's where you're gonna hear a lot from him. I'm not married yet, so
Yeah.
you know that's right. That's his domain right
And
there.
happily married too.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Hey, it's
Yeah.
it's straight off on us. You know, show us
Yeah.
the ring now. Let me see the-
Definitely. Well, we have 2 of them. You know what I mean? And the one's here. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes because of the space that we're working, you know what I mean? Sometimes you have a lot of products and all
Like the
of
people
these
that over
things.
there want to see it too.
Yeah.
You know?
Represent.
Representing. You know what I'm
All
saying?
of the married people, them.
What's going on, Mrs. Cowan?
That is it. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But the one, what are the one? You know what I mean? So we multiply.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And hopefully we can dissect the marriage vow.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even though I believe that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? Versus then to now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what it looks like today. You know what I mean? You know, there's a lot of people running, but again, just water it, man. You know what I mean? And trust the process. You know, and if you're a believer, just give it to God.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you put in the work and the time, though. Because, you know, you have to work. There's no way around it. You have to work. You know what I mean? You can't get paid unless you put in the work. You know, you can't see the reward unless you put in the work.
That's right. That's right.
That's it for me. man.
Listen, Prince Unguarded, y'all. Listen, Prince Unguarded family, man. Thank you guys for staying with us. You know what I mean, and enduring us and inviting us into
That is
your
it.
homes. You know what I'm saying? Where we can actually have conversation and dialogue about relationships and stuff like that. Again, Jermaine Cowan, man, it's always a pleasure.
Always.
Thank you for
That
being
is
my
it.
first guest on Prince Unguarded, y'all. My very first guest, man. I love
That is
it.
it.
Yeah, who else, right? You guys could have guessed who my first guest was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. You know what I mean? We are out to here, man. As usual, we normally say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, y'all. Your boy is OUT out.
Out.
See ya.
That is it.
Yeah.